I was muted the whole time. Let's try again. Hi, everyone. I'm Bia, live from New England. It's Twilight Tonight, fan fiction edition. Bow chicka wow 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 wow. Wow wow. I hope you're doing well. We're gonna get just right into it, but I would like to tell you that we've got a little tiny Edward here in the corner. You can keep an eye on him. I also have this beautiful floral arrangement in the back. I'll bring it forward. Hold on. I got this recently. It is a pumpkin spice floral arrangement. It smells so good. So, just wanted to share that with you all, but let's get right into the stories. Just as a reminder, we are reading Falling Beyond Redemption by Aaliyah B4U. We are currently on Chapter 2, Conversations in Frustration. So this is now Bella's point of view. I resist the urge to slam my bedroom door, but just barely. I'm more than mad enough to do some structural damage, but I'm also wired and nervous, and yes, even a little excited. Sighing, I sink down on my bed and rest my head in my hands. I can't believe Charlie has done this. And at the same time, a part of me can't really blame him. He's so absolutely clueless about the complex and insane realities of my life. My relationship, or lack thereof, with Jacob is only the tip of the iceberg. And I most certainly can't clue him in either. I know Charlie has found it hard to understand and forgive Edward for leaving me, but I thought with the way he seemed to have accepted our engagement that maybe he was beginning to. I guess I was wrong. I can't blame him for that either. For all kinds of reasons, my relationship with Edward isn't something I've discussed with Charlie, and maybe that's backfiring on me now. At the very least, Edward and I should have tried harder to spend more time with him so that he could see, truly see, how good and right we are together. Instead, we've done the opposite, spending most of our time away from this house and away from Charlie's gimlet eye. Maybe I've been trying to put the distance between Charlie and me, knowing what the future holds. And maybe Edward's polite, respectful smile toward Charlie had been too cool, too unfriendly. Groaning, I get up and begin to gather my shower things, trying to sort out this mess in my head. It doesn't help that the thought of seeing Jacob is bringing up a whole lot of feelings I'd rather not relive, both the positive and the negative. For a second, I actually considered just leaving, telling Charlie that I'm sorry, that I just can't do this. I need to make him understand what he's hoping for isn't ever going to happen. Walking out just might be the final catalyst that makes him understand, once and for all, that Jacob is no longer a part of my life. I turn on the shower and strip, not even bothering to wait for the temperature to regulate before stepping in. I shiver as the cool water spills over my skin and inevitably think of Edward. Even as the water begins to warm, he stays in my mind. I've missed him these last few days so much it's unbearable. And now, when I'm finally close to being in his arms again, I can't even relax and just be happy. Damn it, why can't Charlie just accept the way things are? I was starting to get over the whole Jacob fiasco, and though I can truly never forgive myself for what I've put him through, I have made peace with my decisions. I know without the slightest bit of doubt who I am supposed to be with, who I can't live without. I know I can spend eternity with Edward and never look back, never wonder if I made the wrong choice. But I could never do the same if I chose to be with Jacob. With him, I would always wonder, always be looking over my shoulder for a pair of topaz eyes looking back at me. I would never be complete. I would go to my grave searching for those eyes and needing something I didn't have. Edward. That doesn't make any of this easier, right or wrong. I have feelings for Jacob. Raw, powerful feelings laced with razor-sharp edges of my guilty conscience. And what will Edward think when he finds out about this little dinner my meddling father is planning? You meddling father. Haven't I hurt him enough already with all these conflicted feelings for Jacob? Back in my room, I towel dry my hair and dress quickly. A simple pair of black capri pants and deep blue cap sleeve blouse that mysteriously showed up in my closet just a few days ago. No doubt the handiwork of Edward's sister Alice, who has an unhealthy obsession with my wardrobe. Still, inspecting myself in the mirror, I can't help but grudgingly admit that her sense of style is impeccable, even if it is wasted on someone as plain as me. Grimacing, I try to pinch a little color into my cheeks, which look even pastier than normal despite 2 hours I invested in sunbathing. Having my period isn't helping anything either, not my coloring, and certainly not my mood. I've felt sluggish and crampy all day, and now this. All I really want to do is lie on my bed and listen to music until Edward gets back. After that, all I want to do is continue to lie somewhere, anywhere, as long as it's with him. Wrapped up in his cool arms, his body the perfect antidote to this muggy summer heat, listening to the sound of his voice while he rubs my back. All of that is shot to hell now, though. Even after Jacob leaves and I'm finally with Edward, the tension from Jacob's visit would probably ruin what would otherwise be my idea of perfection. Groaning, I gave the blouse one final tug. The fact that Edward loves seeing me dressed in blue makes me feel slightly better, as though I'm wearing a talisman that all but screams who I really belong with. In the kitchen, Charlie has marinated the steaks and even dragged out the ingredients for salads. I take over grudgingly, though I feel a bit bad that he keeps looking at me with a slightly nervous expression. I know he can't help the way he feels, and my anger lessens a little. Still, I feel compelled to let him know that I know what he's up to. I don't want to fight, but in less than a few months, I will be married to Edward. And after that, well, I can't really bear the idea of it yet. I know it will be hard enough without all this extra emotional baggage. I need him to understand, and I need things to be okay between us before I take the next step. I can never live with myself if I don't get his blessing in whatever way he can give it. It isn't gonna work, Dad. You know that, right? He doesn't look up from dicing peppers, but I see his hand hesitate for just a fraction of a second. What's not gonna work, Bells? The salad? Should I not be adding peppers? I ignore his inane question and wait until he puts down the knife before laying my hand over his. The ring on my finger catches the last bit of fading sunlight, and small prisms of color splatter the countertop and the backs of his strong, solid fingers. A sudden surge of love seizes my throat, and I have to swallow several times before I can continue. No matter how difficult this night will be, I know, without a doubt, the love that lies beneath it all. Tears fill my eyes as sudden, unexpected memories spin in my mind. Charlie, using the very same hand I'm touching to hold onto the back of my first two-wheeled bike. Me, in braids, with skinny, band-aid covered legs, learning to ride down this very street, pedaling hard and fast while he ran beside me and didn't ever let go. Not until he'd been certain I wouldn't fall. Even then, he kept running, keeping pace and shouting encouragement, the only man beside Edward who'd ever earned my complete and unwavering trust. I wallow past my emotions, hoping to somehow make him understand. I know you still don't trust Edward. I know you've never really forgiven him for what he put me through, but you have to let it go now, okay? You might think we're too young, and a few weeks ago I probably would have agreed with you, but you guys are too young, Bella. You have your whole lives ahead of you, and so help me, I still just don't understand the rush. It's not a rush, Dad. It's just that it doesn't really matter when we do it. Now, a year from now, it's all the same because it's inevitable. I wish with all my heart in that instant that I could tell him even just one small sliver of the truth. But I won't risk him or his life to ease my conscience. If he ever found out what Edward is, what all the Cullens are, the consequences would be catastrophic. There are very powerful forces, more than willing to kill anyone who might threaten the secret of their existence. I let go of his hand and turned back to the salad, wishing that I never brought it up. It would have been better to just endure this evening in polite small talk and silence than to risk opening a can of worms no one can stomach. It's too late, though, and Charlie leans against the counter, his expression way too intense and questioning. Fine. It's inevitable. You and Edward are meant to be. I can accept that, Bells. But that still doesn't explain the rush. If it's inevitable, then what's the difference between 2 months and 2 years? Go to school, live a little, travel. Hell, do it all with him if you have to. But just wait to make it official. You guys have so much life ahead of you. Or are you lying to me? Is there more to this than you're telling me? I didn't like his tone. His question leans towards his whole pregnancy fears, but it's also reaching further. And for the first time, I know he's looking, really looking. He can't possibly ever guess the truth. But the very fact that he's looking at things so hard is cause for major concern. Somehow, I manage to mask my emotions and laugh lightly, hoping it doesn't sound as forced as it feels. Dad, really, are we back on the whole thinking I might be pregnant thing? Seriously? Because I know you have to know that isn't possible, especially this week. I mean, I know we're a man, but we do share a bathroom. Heat floods my face. I force myself to hold his gaze, hoping that the discomfort of having this conversation will be even harder on him than it is on me. If anything can get Charlie to head for the safety of his TV sports and drop this whole topic, it's the discussion of purely female matters with his daughter. My only other option will be to start talking sex, and this is bad enough. I watch with growing unease as he unflinchingly maintains eye contact. I believed you before, Bells, when you said you weren't pregnant. I didn't need proof then. I'm not asking for it now. His gaze narrows, and the look on his face grows a knot in my stomach bigger than my own fist. For all intents and purposes, we might as well be at the precinct in a barren room with cement gray walls and a rickety metal table, chairs, and a two-way mirror. I'm not talking to my father anymore. I'm being questioned by Police Chief Swan. There are other reasons for rushing into marriage. He stops, his eyes searching mine, and somehow I manage to hold them. Alice's voice is strong in my mind, reminding me that despite still being human, I am a Cullen already, and I have obligations and responsibilities to keep up pretenses. I have never felt the burden of that responsibility as strongly as I do now, and the weight of it threatens to buckle my knees. I need you to tell me the truth, Bella. Is Edward pressuring you into this? For a second, the relief at such an easily answered question is so sweet and such a polar opposite of my fears that I'm almost giddy with relief. Then he hits me with the second half of the question. And if he is, you're letting him? Well, then I have to ask why, because from what I know of him, he's not the type to push. And you sure as hell aren't the type to be pushed. So in my book, this all adds up to mean only one thing. There's a hell of a lot more going on here than meets the eye, but I'll be damned if I can't figure out what. Turning away from the burn of his questioning glare, I sigh and shake my head as though frustrated and amused at the same time. Okay, Police Chief Swan, you might need a vacation because I'm thinking your job is beginning to make you paranoid. I manage a small laugh and a rueful glance in his direction as I quickly resume washing lettuce for the salad. Look, Dad. I grab a towel and start drying my hands in an effort to mask the fact that they've begun to shake. I'll admit, in the beginning, when Edward first asked me, I thought he was a bit crazy. Because, like I said, I thought we were too young as well. But I meant what I said about it being inevitable. And I knew that we'd end up married anyway. There's no reason to rush the inevitable. But there's also no reason to delay it. Right now feels like the perfect time for us. We're done with high school, we're getting ready to start whole new lives, and we want to do that together. Edward already told you, Dad, he's very old-fashioned. He wants to do this the right way. And so do I. Trying once again to plaster a calm expression on my face, I look up at him, hoping I'm pulling this off. He studies me quietly for a long, very unnerving amount of time, and then finally sighs and smiles. My muscles slowly begin to unlock as I see that he's trying to accept my words at face value. Yeah, well, you always did know your own mind, even when you were little. He sighs again, louder this time, and goes to the fridge for a beer. You know I only want what's best for you, right? The question is simple, and very much something a father would ask in this situation, but I can still hear the veiled undercurrents of doubt in his mind, and I know I haven't convinced him of anything. Still, he's willing to let it go, and I think right now, that's the best I can ask for. Yeah, Dad, I know. I think about adding that Edward is the best thing for me, but the sound of a vehicle pulling into the driveway stops me. Charlie glances towards the door and his spine straightens, as though he's stealing his resolve, which he probably is. Well, well, that sounds like Jake there, so I guess I'll go fire up the grill and start those steaks. He turns to leave and then turns back, patting his shirt pocket. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. You left this on the table in the other room. I thought you might be looking for it. He pulls out the new cell phone Edward just bought me and lays it on the table gingerly. Oh, is that where I left it? I grab it and instantly check my messages, hoping to see one from Edward. He promised to send me one before they left today, but he must have not had a chance yet. I can see the battery is getting low, so I shut it off and put it back on the table. Something wrong? Oh, no. I just thought Edward would have texted me or called, just to let me know when he'd be home exactly. Huh. Well, I'm sure he's just busy, or maybe they're out of range or something. I can't imagine there would be a whole lot of cell towers up in hiking country. He turns away again, and the odd tone of his voice makes me look up at his retreating back. The sound of the doorbell makes us both jump, and as he heads outside to start the grill, I head for the door, squaring my shoulders and strengthening my resolve. What does that mean? Maybe if Jacob hadn't picked up that exact moment to push the bell, I might have followed my train of thinking to a logical conclusion. Maybe I might have realized that Charlie sounded evasive and guilty, and that Edward would have never been too busy to call like he said he would. Maybe I might even have been on the ball enough to remember that satellite cell phones don't need tower reception. But then again, maybe not. Looking back now, I only know one thing. The second I opened that door, I started a chain of events that spiraled out of control in the worst possible ways. And no amount of maybe is going to change any of it. Ooh. Okay, that sounds like the next couple of chapters are going to be crazy. Ooh. Okay, next chapter is Edward's point of view. So I'm really looking forward to that. This has been chapter 2, Conversations in Frustration, of Falling Beyond Redemption by Aaliyah Before You. We will get to chapter 3, Edward's point of view. Next chapter is Moments of Premonition. So, very much looking forward to that. Let me know what you think is going to happen. If you like this video, then subscribe for more fan fiction videos and keep an eye out for Twilight Tonight episodes. Also, I've started an ASMR channel, so if you like ASMR, then you should go check that out. Everything is linked down in the description below. So, just as a reminder, I'm Bia, and this has been Twilight Tonight Fan Fiction Edition. Bow chicka wow wow